Hey guys, this is the first of a little series me and Michael are going to be doing. I'm Wilf, work here at Sale Freaks on some of the media content that we put out, some of the tutorials, things like that. Michael, introduce yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Michael. I am one of the owners of Sale Freaks, and I'm also a dropshipper. So I've been dropshipping for over 5 years using Sale Freaks and have built a business for myself using Sale Freaks. And we're going to just talk to you a bit about how and why dropshipping is a really good thing to get into. So, three reasons you should get into eBay dropshipping. Number one, it's a super low barrier to entry business model. You can virtually start today for free. Number two, it's a really good way to build up foundational knowledge of how to run a business just because of so many elements that you're going to be dealing with: customer service, you're going to be dealing with returns, you're going to be dealing with orders, and all of these things. Is just super cool way to learn how to run a business from A to Z. And number three, it's a really good springboard to build up funds in order to start building a bigger brand or selling physical goods. So it gives you all that knowledge and then also provides you with that income as well. And with dropshipping, it really can be as little or as large as you want it to be. You can scale it up to a full-time income, or you can keep it purely as a side hustle. So super versatile way of doing things. So I've been in the game like 5+ years. I've built my, eBay stores from a super small passive income, just like we've talked about, 50, 100 quid profit to a month, right up to months where I've made over £10,000 in net profit. So we have Wilf with us today. And what better way to, I guess, when he started working with us in Sale Freaks was to start drop shipping himself and start to learn. So Wilf obviously has a perspective on dropshipping that I guess comes more from, you've literally just started.
Yeah.
So I'd love to kind of know a bit about, I guess, how you found it and how just on those three things that I've mentioned, how you can kind of see those things playing out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in the past, I've tried a few other like online income side hustle stuff. Um, and I think a big barrier with all of those is just like the first time you make money, right? And what I've learned so far with specifically Sale Freaks, at least, is all I've used, and eBay dropshipping, is that first moment comes quite soon, and it really switches you on to think I can scale this, make it a lot easier, and yeah, I mean, it's so passive. Like it's so passive. Like you could do 10-20 minutes a day at the kind of scale I'm at right now. And I think it's going to be super useful for other people to kind of not compare, but like see how I'm getting on. If you're teaching me, you're probably teaching a lot of other people the same stuff. So I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, for sure. And definitely, like, if I was given a fourth reason to start drop shipping, it is that it's just as you've mentioned there, and also the fact that you see proof of concept very
Exactly.
fast. When
That's
I
the
see
phrase.
dropshipping, yeah, I was like, this cannot be real. This can't be real. How is this going to work? And then you get those first couple of sales in, and that really just propels you to kind of move
Mm,
forward with everything. And I think it is a lot of people sit on the fence and they think they see it's like every business model. You've got guys trashing it, and then you've also got guys that are selling it, and it's the same with everything. Most of these business models work. And I'm definitely not trash any business model here, but some of them, like for example, Amazon FBA, like you do need a starting capital, you do need like to buy stock, and that does come with I guess a bigger risk. And not everyone can do well at everything, okay? But what eBay dropshipping allows you to do is allows you, like I say, it allows you to get your foot in through the door with very minimal risk, virtually no risk of losing any money. Um, and you can virtually start off for free because obviously you can sign up for a 14-day trial on Sale Freaks, get listing items, and a lot of times even within those 14 days you can start to make sales. So before you fully commit to buying a product or paying for a package to do more, and obviously that comes into it more when you can start to automate your business and kick things on. But you can essentially see that proof of concept for free with a personal eBay account. You're going to be able to list items for free You don't need any other additional software to start because we have, the bestseller auto lister, which lists products directly to your store. And with SaleFreaks as well, because of how automated it is, there's so many different methods to kind of doing dropshipping. Some people will say that eBay dropshipping has super, super low margins. But then there's also people out there that are promoting, software and saying that, that you can get high margins, you get 20, 25%, 30% on some products if you're optimizing your titles and you're putting the work in. So there's definitely things that you can do um, to make more money and make your drop shipping business better, I guess, and more profitable. But even if you want to be like the most passive and take, less profits for less work,
Mm.
then that can definitely work. And I think that's why it is so popular because it
I
does hit
think
so many different people.
I think the thing that makes it so popular and powerful is the choice there. Not necessarily that it can be passive or it can be highly profitable, but it's the choice that you can kind of go either way, right?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, and there's so many different ways to scale. Like I think you talked about one of your videos, and we both spoke about scaling sideways. You can start off with one eBay store, you can then grow that store and have a second eBay store, a third or fourth or fifth, or maybe 10 or 20, or
Yep.
it really has no limits. And also with SaleFreaks, you can have all those eBay accounts within the same dashboard as well, which keeps
Mm-hmm.
everything obviously in the same place as well. Super, super easy to manage um, in the one place. So with SaleFreaks, even before you start a 14-day free trial, or let's say you're on a 14-day free trial with the software itself, obviously there is an in-depth drop shipping course. If you want to just show us where you could sign up for that, Wilf, it's
Sure. So sellfreaks.teachable.com, and this is it. So we've got 23 videos here going through the whole process. It gets you up to pretty much a point where you can be pretty hands off, right?
Yeah, for sure. Especially with like the advanced features of the auto lister and things, and
Yeah.
especially when you're not entirely. There's a lot. One of the biggest questions for that I get is what should I list? And the reality is there's no real right or wrong answer, but because we list in a lot of different kinds of categories, niches, and things like that. Um, But until you find your fate, SaleFreaks will actually list those products for you based on a really high criteria that the product is actually selling really well on eBay.
Mm.
Then you can double down further on those products and optimize your titles. And we'll go through this in other videos. When optimizing basically means make it more favorable for the eBay search and make sure your product gets in front of more people's eyes with that optimization.
Yeah.
But in reality, what you would then do with the products that are being listed, you'll start to see what kind of products are working. And then you can piggyback off the back of those products to find similar products, for example. And then you can start playing around with your own ideas, listing your own products. But realistically, SaleFreaks does take the pain out of that for you. We're finding the products, we're comparing them against eBay, making sure that they've got a track record both on Amazon, which means it's a good rating on Amazon. It's got plenty of
Mm-hmm.
reviews. It's a product that you're not really going to have too many issues with. And then also make sure that it's actually selling on eBay as well, which is really important because no matter how well it's doing on Amazon, we need to actually see does this particular product or do similar products actually sell well on eBay? Otherwise, we're not going to make sales because it's eBay where we want to see those sales actually coming from. So, Wilf, you've been kind of doing a mix. You've been kind of doing a mix of various different ways of finding products. Um, how have you found that process? Just really coming. I mean, you've went from zero knowledge of this particular type of eBay to Amazon dropship and
Yep.
using a software which for a beginner really might seem a bit daunting because it does do an awful lot.
Mm-hmm.
You find that?
I mean, in terms of listing specifically, it's one of the features which doesn't take much knowledge, right? It's switch on bestseller auto lister and coupon hunter, and you're off. You started. Um, the more in depth stuff comes when you're looking at what makes a winning product, how to how to do product research well with software like Zik. If you want to use a software like Zik, any other software, any other method of finding products. And I've gone completely blank, but we can edit that all out.
For sure, no. I mean, that makes 100% sense. I mean, we use I use Salesforce for like 80% of my drop shipping business, and like everything, there's other bits and pieces of kit that you can use to make that experience much better. Like you mentioned, Zik Analytics. Zik Analytics, for anyone that doesn't know, is a predominantly product research software. So it basically gives you every stat under the sun that you need to know for a particular product or a particular niche, which makes life a hell of a lot easier because the bestseller auto lister, whilst it's absolutely amazing, as you start to scale up, you will need to find other ways to find profitable products. You have to basically use every tool in your box basically is the best way to make money at eBay dropshipping. You don't just want to rely on one thing or the other. You want to be using elements of everything and a mixture of both. And the good thing about Zik Analytics as well is it actually integrates fully with Salesforce, which it doesn't do for 90% of the other softwares out there. So you can actually find your products in Zik Analytics, narrow those products down within Zik Analytics, actually optimize the titles within Zik Analytics, and then via an API, via basically a connection, an electronic connection for anyone that doesn't know what an API is, myself included before I started getting into all this kind of stuff. It's just basically it sends them from Zik over to Salesforce and they list on your eBay account. As simple as that. So it's super, super good. But realistically, Salesforce has 90% of what you need. Wilf, I'd love you to go in. Can you go into your account and let's see kind of just where you're at? So on Salesforce as well, we want to give you like a very user-friendly experience. When you log into Salesforce, you've got your dashboard, you've got your analytics of your total profit of the last 24 hours, 7 days, 30 days, 1 year. And then over on the left-hand side, you've got alerts, and then you've got your last orders, you've got your top sellers and things like that. Everything's in the one place, super, super easy. Well, again, from a complete novice perspective, you basically went from A to sales in the space of what, like a couple of days, realistically?
Pretty sure, yeah. It was, I think it was around the 1 week mark.
Okay, so that's awesome because I think I said to you at the time, if you don't get orders like within your kind of first 20 to 30 days, that can still be normal. Like I think the statistics say somewhere along the line, I heard on another YouTube video that generally speaking, when you're listing new products on the eBay store as a drop shipper, it can sometimes take up to 30 days to get that first sale. So to get that within a week is pretty cool. And you weren't going crazy. You weren't listing tons of items. How many items did you have listing per day?
I think I had two. I think I had two of the bestseller auto lister, and then one coupon hunter, one a day. So 3 in total.
Yeah, gotcha. Because a lot of people get caught up in the numbers game early on.
Yeah.
And whilst it is a numbers game, like realistically, the more products you have on your store, the more chance that someone's going to buy those products. And obviously, the more transactions you'll hit on a daily, weekly, monthly, on a monthly basis. And obviously, you'll have more profit. So it is super important to scale up and utilize the maximum amount of listings you can use on your eBay store within reason. But what you don't want to do is just hammer it with like hundreds and hundreds of listings per day. Especially if you're just like new to drop shipping and you've only maybe sold some items from home on your eBay account. It's super important to warm up your eBay account. So if you haven't been drop shipping before, what you should be doing is you should be listing some items from home. Like even like unwanted books or books you've already read. They're super, super easy. They sell really, really well on eBay. You put them on as a 99p auction. If they sell, brilliant. You post it out. You get your tracking number, you put it on eBay, and you build that trust with eBay. Now, you may have already been selling on eBay before, for example, and that's absolutely fine. If you've made sales, you've had feedback, you can go ahead and start listing on eBay. But you got to look at eBay are looking at everyone in the sense of like a trust and safety and protecting their community and protecting their buyers. So if they see someone that hasn't listed anything for months, or maybe they've only listed one or two products, and then the next minute they've listed 500 or 1,000 products or something
Yeah.
ridiculous, that's out of character for what they will coin as usual behavior.
Hmm.
So it will flag as suspicious, and then you'll be finding yourself having to answer questions you don't really want to have to answer, basically. So whilst you might not lose your account, you might have to be jumping through hoops, and it just makes your dropshipping experience a little bit less enjoyable.
Hmm.
And most people don't really like jumping through hoops, so the least friction we can give ourselves, the better. So we generally advise for your first week, list a couple of products, 2 to 5 a day, and then with this is the beauty of the bestseller auto lister. You can put that on autopilot to do that every single day for you, and then after a week, you just bump that up. Like for example, Wilf's got 800 items on his store now. So in the space of about a month to 2 months, he's went from 0 to 800 items basically, which he'll continue to scale, I guess. How many items are you listing roughly a day at the minute?
I think the bestseller is on like 15, 20.
Yeah, which is perfect. You just want to keep scaling up. You don't want to any knee-jerk reaction will look off to eBay. So
Yeah.
you can, once the account's up and running and you've made orders like you have, you can start to really push that up where you're listing like 100, 150 items a day or even every other day. And that's absolutely fine. The next thing you need to worry about is just how you're going to process all those orders. And hopefully Salefrix has obviously got you covered for that within the auto order system.
Yep.
So another question that always comes up for me, I guess, as well, and probably you probably asked me the same thing even when you started with ourselves at
Hmm.
Salefrix, but what happens if the item goes out of stock on Amazon, or what happens if um, the item changes price on Amazon? And the answer is Salefrix basically monitors and tracks the price of those products on Amazon. So if the products say £10 on Amazon, we want to factor in that you have eBay fees to pay, and then you want to make a profit margin on top. So all that gets taken into consideration, and we reprice it to make sure that you're earning your profit per order on that item. And then if the item goes up or down in Amazon in price, we'll actually match that price, or we will track the price of that and change it so that you're still making your profit margin. The same if it goes out of stock. If the item goes out of stock on Amazon, we'll actually put it out of stock on your eBay account. So that means that you won't be able to sell the product. When it comes back into stock on Amazon, we'll put it back into stock on eBay. So super, super, super straightforward. Now, like everything, it's not going to be 100% of the time, but for the most part, we're tracking and monitoring all the prices, and it's all done automatically. So again, some other softwares, you have to upload and download file exchanges and re-upload
Hmm.
CSV files to monitor and check the prices. And that means it's only checking and monitoring the prices as many times as you can do that in a day. So I
Right.
know people are doing this once a day, even twice a day, and still getting issues. Whereas we're monitoring your stock every 45 minutes to 1 hour, which is super, super fast, especially if you know how Amazon is, like prices can go up and down pretty rapidly. They can have offers on the prices, or there could be sellers just undercutting each other on there and using repricers and things, which makes it quite volatile on Amazon. So it's super, super important. But well, just go into your order screen. I know we'll probably have to blur out some of these because we don't want anyone stealing all Wilf's best sellers here. But I just want to see where the orders are coming from and see like kind of like the mix of where the orders are coming from, and you'll be able to see those on like tags or like source. So for example, there Wilf's been listing using the bestseller auto lister. He's also been using another function of Salefreaks, I believe, possibly the locator and
Hmm.
the coupon hunter as well.
Yep.
So actually, you mentioned the coupon hunter a second ago. Just tell us a bit about the coupon hunter because it's slightly different to the bestseller auto lister.
Right.
There's
So
there's
you,
product there, right? Okay.
yeah, this is the one that I was shown off in my beginners guys episode 3, because I literally, as I was editing, it came through and it was a perfect example of it.
Gotcha.
So, for example, you'll see often on Amazon the little checkbox right below, I think right below the price, which basically adds a coupon. It's strange because if you just buy the item normally, it doesn't add the coupon. But yeah, so like this one, for example, was a 5% coupon, got me 95p off of the purchase price. That's 95p straight into my pocket. The total profit for this one was £4.60 on a single order, which I think is fantastic,
Well,
especially for the.
that's really banging, and just shows that, like, you know, whilst we will take lower percentages on some items, we're going to take bigger percentages on some of those items as
Yeah.
well, which is super good. And we've just added 95p into the mix as well. So that product has turned from a 12% profit margin into almost eight, like 17.6% or something. So, and what the beauty about that is you haven't had to search for that product. Like, I don't know about you, mate, but when I'm thinking about what should I start to sell, I'm not looking for wigs, you know,
No,
or
not
braids or
not often.
whatever this is. It looks like a wig or some sort of braid thing, but yeah, like this is the madness of what kind of products you'll get in your store. So you've not had to source that product. You've not had to buy that product, as
Hmm.
in you're not holding the inventory. It's online. Um, Sale Freaks has listed the product directly to your store. Can you click on the market item just to show that item inside your eBay? Just
Sure.
on the link down at the bottom. So this is how eBay has, you know, or Sale Freaks should I say, has listed this product. You know, it's brought the title over. I don't know whether I don't know whether you've optimized your title, but the title looks pretty neat. It's you know, it's a good title. And it's obviously sold, so it's obviously appearing in front of people.
Hmm.
We bring through all the pictures. Wilf's potentially used the collage feature on this one, unless
This one was
the
by
item has
itself.
been collaged already. Okay, so it's already hasn't needed to do anything with it. So if you go back into the product itself, as Wilf was saying, Um, the coupon gets added at checkout by Sale Freaks. So you'll even list products, and if you're doing manual product research and product listing, and maybe even doing all your orders yourself, because there's people out there that do drop shipping completely manually. I don't know how they do it. They must have serious heart and
For
love
real.
love jumping through hoops. But people do it manually, and as you say, Will, like sometimes it's difficult on Amazon to actually see the coupon. It tends
Yeah.
to be like kind of hidden, and you have to select it to actually get the discount. It's not like a normal shop where you know it just comes off the price. So Amazon will have like their sale prices, which will be like 10% off, 20% off, and that just will be off the price.
Hmm.
But then sometimes they have these little coupons. So when Sale Freaks is running through the auto order process, which basically means that when the order comes from eBay, the information gets pulled to Sale Freaks and it gets put into this database that we can see here. Now, obviously, we've blur out the customer details and that stuff, but we have all the address in there. We have the order numbers. It goes straight across to Amazon, and then the auto order system processes your order, clicks the coupon, which applies a checkout, which gives you that extra 5% off, gives you that extra 95 pence profit, and then pulls all the information back from Amazon, updates your Sale Freaks account, and then ultimately updates your eBay account. So it marks it as shipped on eBay, and it uploads your tracking automatically as well. So literally the full cycle is completed by Sale Freaks. The only thing we can't do, and maybe this will be something with AI in the future might be able to do, we can't do your eBay customer service. So essentially, that's if someone messages you or they want to open a return for a product or something like that. That's something that you have to be pretty hands on with until we've got robots doing this for us, or and in some cases, people hire staff to do their customer service for them, which is what I do, and they're a lot better at dealing with customer service than I am. Wilf, you're probably dealing with that at the minute. How are you finding kind of the customer service side of eBay? And what's your kind of background? Did you have any customer service skills or anything that you brought to the table when you started doing drop shipping?
Sure. I mean, I've had some retail jobs in the past, customers always right type of thing. Um, But to be honest with you, the amount of customer service I've had to do has been less than I expected. I think in general, it's a pretty widespread belief that Amazon's courier system is pretty rock solid. So in terms
Yeah.
of deliveries and things like that, there tends to be not too many issues. I get a lot of questions about products listed, which I always have to double check with the Amazon listing or go through something like that. But yeah, it's not been nothing crazy. Sometimes a slightly overdue delivery, helping with tracking, things like that. But overall, it hasn't been too bad, and keep it polite. Do you know what I mean? That's pretty much the long and the short of it. And
Yeah, I mean that is basically it. Like, I mean, this your eBay account, I'll always say to people, is your asset. Okay, and
yeah,
that's the thing that you want to protect the most. Okay, and it is very, very difficult um when you're running a business or when you're running an eBay account to not take it personal. So this is what I learned a lot because I came from a customer service background as well. And when the customer's sitting in front of you, um, a customer's less likely to be really rude with you, and you can tend to reason with someone even if they're super, super upset just by being nice and getting the resolution that they want, for example, and or the resolution that both parties can agree to, basically,
mm,
which is what you're really trying to do on eBay if someone is upset or complaining about something. But obviously on the internet, the phrase of keyboard warrior and that kind of stuff comes into it. And when someone's hiding behind a screen and they're not face to face with you, they can get a bit ratty, let's say.
hmm
We've got our Karens. It's obviously the phrase has been. Um, and yeah, it's about trying to take the emotion out of it. And it's difficult because I certainly when I started doing it, I certainly felt like it was kind of a bit I was kind of a bit defensive. But in reality, although it's your eBay account and although they're your customer, you're literally you're a middleman. If they have a problem with something, let's say with a particular item, that's an Amazon problem or a supplier problem
yeah,
if you're using other suppliers, for example. But you then just take their problem to Amazon. So if they've got the box has been damaged or it's not as not the right color or whatever, that's not nothing for you to take personal because you've not paid for, picked and prepped and packed and posted. Excuse me.
bless you.
You've not posted that item. You've not manufactured that item. You've had nothing to do with it. You've not even as much as touched the item. And you might not have even known what you've listed that item. For
Yeah,
example, this week it's been listed by the coupon under, so you're not the expert. So you just take that problem back to Amazon and reflect it to them, and 9 times out of 10, you'll get the correct resolution
that
from Amazon
that's a powerful part
and the
of
customer.
it's a powerful part of using Amazon for a supplier is that their size means their customer support is actually pretty good. 9 times out of 10,
Yeah.
if a product's below like £25 or something, and I had a customer saying the item just hasn't shown up. It was showed as delivered on Amazon. Tracking everything went through perfectly, but it just didn't show up. They looked over it, didn't show up, and I took that back to Amazon and said the item hasn't arrived, and without any kind of questions, they just refunded me, so I could refund the customer. No problems, no issues really.
Yeah, and this is like it's just so important because the only people that I've ever known to basically say sort of that hand on heart they've lost money from drop shipping due to drop shipping things, if that makes sense. So you can have your own kind of um your own management can make you lose money, right? If you haven't got your settings right or you're just
Yeah,
being very through other. But if you're doing everything right, you shouldn't actually be able to lose money dropshipping for that pure reason. And I've seen people in the past saying, but I've had to refund 10 customers this month, and you're like, but why?
mm,
Oh, because this and that. And you're like, no, well, this one you could have got a return from Amazon. You could have just, got them to return the item and you get your refund from Amazon, you refund your customer, and eBay also refunds all your fees. So it's not like you've lost the fees or anything like that. They'll refund everything in full and credit you back the fees.
mm.
Items not received cases, again, just like you say, if the item hasn't been received, like 99 times out of 100, Amazon are gonna refund that item. Like I would say even closer to 100%, unless they feel that there's something dodgy going on, and even at that, you can call up, and if it's genuine, like, you'll get your money back, because like Amazon logistics are super good anyway. And the customer service is brilliant. And even in some cases as well, they'll actually give you a free credit. Like in cases where I've been like, super upset with a customer issue or whatever, they've actually said, okay, we'll apply like £5, £10 credit to the account, like just for a gesture of goodwill. So I
Yeah.
think like Amazon's goal, or it used to be their goal, was like to be the most customer centric business on like the planet, or like in the universe, or something like that. And like it's like it is true.
It
Like it's so
shows.
so easy. So this is a big thing. Like a lot of people ask me when I'm doing like mentorships or webinars and things, and it'll be like, what do I do with this case? And it's like nine times out of ten, the answer is just take that to Amazon and ask them. Do you know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
a customer's asking about this particular product or this particular feature, but I don't know what the product is.
Mm.
And the answer to that is just go and Google it, or go and find it on Amazon. And if,
Yeah.
if you can't find it on Google or can't find it on Amazon, ask Amazon live chat, and they might be able to point you in the right direction or something. So anything that you don't know can easily be found out. You just have to do a bit of digging. But like you say, well, if the reality is, until you really scale up, there's not a great deal that you have to do in terms of customer service. Some might get a bit more unlucky than others if, a product's wrong or something like that. But nine times out of 10, it is pretty easy, which is what I love about eBay dropshipping, because by the time you come to scale it, you should have the skills already.
Yeah.
If you're scaling too fast, your problems might scale quicker than your income and your profit and all this kind of stuff.
Hmm.
So scaling kind of slowly in those first 2 to 3 months, especially if you don't have any kind of experience with eBay or even customer service and stuff. Some people just aren't customer facing or don't speak to customers in their job, and they might get into this like, wow, what do I write to this person? Again, another good tool is, the likes of Chat GPT or AI. You put in the customer's question and ask it to give you an answer, and you've got like a
I mean,
copy and paste answer for a basic question.
99% of customer service is just like the kind of fluff around it and how you make it look nice. The actual outcome sometimes is less important to people.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. And a lot of people do get bogged down in the kind of what ifs, what ifs, what ifs.
Mm.
And the reality is, it's no big deal. It's nothing crazy to think about.
Crack on.
Exactly, mate, exactly. So if you go back into your orders page, just wanna have a scroll down, and we'll see. I don't know whether anyone that was watching there seen when we clicked on the coupon order, it shows as a green like coupon. So anything that's
That's right.
picked up a coupon will show as green, and anything that shows as the bestseller auto list, it will show as that little red and white symbol. So obviously you can see tons of sales are coming from the bestseller auto lister. We've got Coupon Hunter, and then the things that don't have anything are probably just the ones that Wilf's listed himself
Yeah.
or on the Sale Freaks locator. And I think we'll cover the Sale Freaks locator actually in another video. I think it's worthy probably of a video on its own, or we'll go through and show you how we would set up the kind of like all three options. But yeah, those are all coming through. There's a mixture of low profit, which are kind of those traffic items. They get the SEO pumping,
Hmm.
the eBay algorithm loves them. Then we've got some higher profit items. But as you can see, um, the prices of products are relatively low. So as a beginner, it is advisable to list kind of lower priced products. Okay, so your fives, your tens, 15s, 20s, 25s. The reality is they sell a bit faster. They're more of an impulse buy. And also, if you do have a problem with a return, or you do have to deal with an item not received case, just as Will said, it's a lot easier to get your money back. There's a lot less
Yeah.
questions asked. And also, there's just a bit less risk from eBay keeping your sales kind of low, lower value, lower risk. Because it's also lower risk for them. Because if if you can imagine, if you're a new seller to eBay and the next minute you start listing like, 10 Apple iPhones at £1,000 each, they're going to be like, hold on a second, have they got the products? Do they
Mm.
own 5 grand's worth of products or 10 grand's worth of products? So building it up with lower priced items is definitely the way to go. And then once you kind of have a good base built, then you can branch into the higher priced items. Because the reality is the higher priced items are going to bring you a higher APO, which is your average profit per order. But they sell through a little bit slower. So naturally, a higher priced item won't sell as often as a lower priced item.
Mm.
So you want to have a good mix basically, and you want to kind of build it up to that rather than just going in.
That's
Okay.
that's kind of where I am at the moment. I'm trying to fine tune, and you can probably see it from the numbers here. I'm trying to fine tune the balance between number of sales and profit per order. So a good trend. As time's gone on, the average profit is increasing, and I think around a week ago is when I started messing with the margins specifically. Um,
Yeah.
Still trying to find a balance because the amount of sales in a day isn't as high as it was before, but yeah, I'm definitely getting there with that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And I mean, like, you will get there. So like anyone watching this might look at this and think, oh yeah, he's made three quid in 24 hours. And the reality is like that's still pretty decent. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
That's without you having any knowledge, basically, before kind of like a month ago.
I'm doing
Uh,
nothing.
Never doing anything and still relatively on autopilot. Okay. And then you can start to fine tune things um, and take it from there. But realistically, even in a month or whatever, you've still made over 100 quid. You've not paid, you've paid very low Seal Freaks cost. You've paid, I think, do you have a personal account on eBay
Yeah,
still at the minute?
yeah, yeah.
Personal eBay accounts, you're not paying for listings because you get 1,000 free on a personal account. So he's using 800 of those. Um, Anything else that I'm missing? Basically, your Seal Freaks package and free eBay.
Proxy is like pennies.
Okay, yeah. So paying for a proxy, a bit more high level detail. You need like it's basically a fresh IP address for how Seal Freaks logs into your eBay and does everything. Because obviously we want to make sure it's coming from the right place and it's dedicated to you. And I think that's in the free course as well. There's a downloadable
Yeah, yeah.
guide for all that kind of stuff as well. But that's essentially what it is. So I mean, basically within 30 days, even if you've made like 50 quid profit from doing nothing, that's pretty good, when you
Yeah.
take away your costs.
And it's
Because,
50 quid I didn't have before, and I haven't really done much for it. So
yeah, 50 quid you didn't have before, it's, I was going to say a tank of fuel, but it's probably more like half a tank of fuel these days, or, something to eat out. It's like you say, it pays for something. Everyone has like
mm,
a different why or a reason why they need extra money or whatever. But that can scale to £200, like in the space of a month or two.
massively.
It's not a real slow burner. So at the start, it kind of can feel a bit slow. And then it starts to have this compound effect where you'll soon get to, £100 a day or £200 a day or whatever. So let me log into an account that I'm actually running on Sale Freaks, and I'll show you kind of just the difference of it, and then we'll kind of end this. How long have we been recording for, Will? This
40,
one?
43 minutes.
Okay, so yeah, I think we'll wrap this one up, but I'll just show you this other account and just show you kind of how
Cool. Should
fast you can
I stop
actually
sharing?
scale. Yeah. Let me just explain a little bit about this account
My
on
eyes
Super
are watering a
Free.
bit here at these at these numbers.
Yeah, so obviously I've been doing this quite a while. There's no doubt about it. I've been doing eBay dropshipping a while, but I can tell you now, we're running this account as pretty much an experiment to how little we can do this. And this is like kind of creating an eyes project, as in like how little effort can we put into this drop shipping store to make money. So we only have the bestseller auto lister on this store. Okay.
Woohoo!
Yeah, only
Okay.
the bestseller auto lister, only low priced items. We're actually using the Sale Freaks Auto Order Pro, which is where you don't even need your own Amazon account. So you don't need your own Amazon account. Therefore, we're just Sale Freaks, or third party, should I say, is processing all the orders through Sale Freaks and getting all your tracking information, all that stuff. So we're paying for that. Um, which means I'm not dealing with Amazon accounts basically at all. I'm just topping up the balance. You see the balance up here in the top right hand corner. And I believe I don't have any Amazon accounts linked here. Yeah, no Amazon accounts linked here. And then let's see the orders. Yeah, so they're all
Yeah.
bestseller order lister. I was gonna say, did I have Coupon Hunter on, but I don't think I have it on now. You know, there's a lot of people trash eBay dropshipping as well for the fact that it's all super, super low margins and blah, blah, blah. All these little, I'm even taking some losses here, I'll be
Mm.
completely honest. There's a loss, 57p, okay, but the sale before that was
Yeah.
83p,
Still pushing the point.
36p, 20 pence, £1, 20 pence. And yes, okay, when you look at that, and it doesn't seem that glamorous, but when you look at what you can do, that's 387 orders since from the 1st of September until now, which is the 9th of October. That's 3,000 orders in just over a month. And even if they're average 30 pence per order, that's like 926 quid. So like your 30p's add up. So don't get like bogged down in these guys going like, yeah, you're
Yeah.
only making 10%, you're only making 8%. Like it all adds up, and the costs to run this business are super, super low. So as you can see, like 24 hours, like 44 quid, right the way up to 7 grand. Now the 7 grand figure, not to get bogged down in the details, but I moved one of these stores from another Sales Freaks account, so there probably was a bit of sales history beyond this, but these accounts have only been running on this account for, I think, through maybe 4 months now, 4 or 5 months. So this is really what I'm trying to get at is I started these accounts like just like you, Will.
Mm.
So I was listing 1 or 2 products a day for the first week, and then I moved it up to like 10 products, 15 products a day. And if I go into global settings of one of the accounts here, let's just pick any one of them, and I'm only using the bestseller order lister at this point still.
How many eBay accounts in total are you in charge of at the moment?
At the moment, about 25 accounts.
Hmm.
Yeah. Now, to put that into perspective, I've been doing this for, let me just scroll down here a second. I just want to check what the amount of listings are. Not pay too much attention to the settings because they're all slightly different per account. So yeah, I'm only listing 20 per day.
Right.
So I mean, 20 per day is still like 600 items per month. You're not going crazy there, but you're going to be able to grow this store. And the store's connected to this account right now. I've only got like 500 items plus
Hmm.
between them. So this is the good point, is that if you scale sideways, you really don't need to go crazy. You can still use the bestseller auto lister to get your stores up to say 1,000 items each, which I'm not even close to. And yeah, to put it into perspective, I've been doing this for 5+ years. In my first 2 years, the maximum accounts I had was like 3.
Right.
Okay. And even for years after that, I only had 3 accounts. Now I've had accounts, maybe some accounts in the past that have potentially been closed or been restricted. We used to use like stealth accounts in the past. That doesn't really work anymore. And by stealth, I basically mean like you were able to like have as many eBay accounts as you wanted in just random fake names. But then obviously over the years, KYC and
Hmm.
checking ID and things like that, it became, if you lost the account or weren't able to provide the correct documents or whatever, then you couldn't get the account back. You were kind of just
Yeah.
snookered. So I only ran like a couple of accounts, and then it's only really in the last couple of years. There's support answering back to a message. Always good to see someone else is doing some work when you're on these calls, Will, as well. Your team's working hard there in the background. But yeah, it's only really recently I've started to build them up more and really start to scale sideways. Because I actually feel that right now dropshipping is in a good place, and I don't think it's going away anywhere. So when the time's good, it's kind of a bit of, make hay while the sun shines, so to speak.
Yeah.
So it's a great time to get into eBay dropshipping. Obviously, right now we're right before quarter four, so you're either gonna, anyone out there watching, thinking about getting involved, there's no, what is it to say about oak trees or something? The best time to plant one was like 100 years ago, but the
Yeah.
next best time is today or something. So
When I was talking with Dan, we were saying like everyone always says when they're advertising something, yeah, now's the best time to get started. But we were saying if you look at a calendar, yep, this is definitely the best
yeah,
time
like
to
if
get
you
started.
really want to look at the calendar, like you're either going to want or need some extra money for Christmas. Maybe you don't even need the extra money. Maybe you're looking for something to just get into as a bit of a hobby. And like I absolutely love it. And if your hobby is like kind of already around buying and selling stuff, which mine was,
Mm,
I just removed the whole part where I had to go and stand in the post office and post all the stuff. So, I still got the buzz from selling stuff, but didn't actually need to do any of the heavy lifting, so
yeah.
to speak. But yeah, now is a good time, whether you're needing extra cash or wanting to get into something, or
Or in terms
like,
of success for the stores, it's going to be a great time with Q4.
oh yeah, 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 you can really kickstart because obviously you're coming into a busier period. You're
Mm,
more likely to make sales now, get that proof of concept, and then really what eBay likes is they like sales. So sales for them obviously makes them money. So when they see an account actually selling, they'll kind of push newer listings up the ranking. But um, anytime's a good time to start
yeah.
with these kind of things. I think the hardest part for people is actually just go ahead and make that first move. That's like one of the biggest limiting factors from people is they'll spend months and months and months kind of trying to understand it, trying to learn it, but it's one of those ones. It is like riding a bike. You can read as many books as you want about riding bikes and watch videos of people riding bikes until you actually get on it and start pedaling. Like
Mm,
you're not going to know like what to do. Do you know what I mean? And that is
yeah.
like
Yeah.
terrible analogy, but like I always find, and I maybe it's the wrong way to do it, but I always just jump head first into things and then figure out the problems later, and
Yeah.
you
Ask questions
almost
later.
better dealing with the problems, and not everything it's a good idea to do that, but in drop shipping and with eBay and with sale freaks and stuff, it's kind of hard to go wrong
Mm,
because everything's kind of signposted for you on the sale freaks website, even on the eBay. You've got your help and contact pages. You've got so many tutorial videos on how to do stuff and deal with stuff. You've got AI to answer questions for you with ChatGPT. You've got endless amounts of content on YouTube these days. You've got so much access to all the stuff that you pretty much need
mm,
to get it going. And like I say, it's a good foundation to get you into potentially other stuff. I know people that have went from making, a couple of £100, £1,000 doing eBay drop shipping that now have £1 million turnover Shopify stores or Amazon FBA businesses or whatever else that you decide that you wish to, that you could get into if you wanted to
mm,
potentially. So yeah. I'm looking forward to doing kind of more of these videos and going
yeah.
through like the various things of sale freaks and how we make sales. And we'll look at more on the eBay side of things as well, and maybe dealing with some of those customer concerns or issues and things, and
There's
maybe some
a
tips and
there's a
tricks.
lot to dive into. There's a lot of places you can optimize and make things more efficient and make things more profitable. So it's going to be a good learning experience for everyone.
For sure, for sure. And yeah, if you're thinking about signing up for Sale Freaks, or even if you have any other questions or anything, feel free to get in touch with us either in the comments, or you can drop an email to, I think we'll put it in the link, but I think it's info@salefreaks.com.
That's the one.
Or you can reach out on the Sale Freaks Facebook page or the Sale Freaks Instagram page. We'll put the links on there. There's a good community within the Sale Freaks Facebook group as well. They'll be happy to answer any questions you go on there. We also plan to host a few kind of members webinars and things on that in the coming weeks and months. But yeah, I think we'll wrap it up there. Wilf, appreciate you taking the time to
Good stuff. Thank
come
you so
on and
much.
talk about this as well.
Lovely. Cool.
Nice one.